In this video, we will implement the Spiky spinner minigame. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to access the code or the assets of the tutorial or looking for help, you can check our Patreon in the description. Let's continue with the tutorial. Hi everyone, in this video I'll be showing you, in this video we're going to do a tutorial for the Spiky spinner mechanic, or simply the Spiky spinner minigame in other words. So this is a fairly popular minigame. To use this device easily, I have defined many tooltip messages for you, but the thing is, currently, maybe at the time you're watching this, it got fixed, but there is some issue with the verse compiler that if I use the tooltips here, you can see that I have commented out, so these are not seen by the compiler because the editor was crashing because I was using tooltip. So I guess compiler has some issues because of the recent updates, but nonetheless, I'll show you the entire code. I'll show you the entire device and how it works and how to use it in a scene, and then you can follow along the video for the code, or you can get the code or the assets that you want from our Patreon as well. So first, since this is not just the like the spinner itself, this is the entire minigame setup. So we have our kind of custom round system. So we have our game area teleporters, and then we have the lobby area teleporters. So you can just put one, or you can put many. You have the option to do that. We have arrays. Here we define two states for the spinner. It's either waiting or it's either chasing someone. And then we have the agent data. Just for each player, we just keep the state of are they in the game or are they not in the game. Well, and then these are this is the game start countdown seconds, and this is the game start countdown HUD messenger. So you can set it to anything greater than 1. And then you can use this HUD message device that is set here to show that the game start countdown. So it basically we are calling it with the actually what I'm doing here is wrong. Well, that's odd, I didn't realize. So this is a countdown, so I was counting from 1 to up, but I should actually count from kind of game start countdown seconds minus I. Okay, all right. So you can use this HUD messenger, and then you can use the seconds to determine the wait seconds before the game starts. Then we have the game duration seconds. So here's the thing, it actually is written in this tooltip as well. If you set the game duration seconds to 0, basically game will continue until every player, at least one, game will continue until all but one player is eliminated, right? But if you set it to something greater than 0, then it will basically make it to be the time of the game, and it will basically end the game when that time runs out, and it will the game will choose nominate all the alive players at that point as or in other words, all the in-game players at that point as winners. And we are doing it with a trigger for you to be able to easily customize it. So we also have a game duration countdown HUD messenger for you to maybe if you want to show the game duration, so you can use that one, right? But actually, oops, that's my bad. it seems like I have forgot to use it, so let me write it real quick. So so we are checking for the game end here. So we are doing this check for once a second. All right, so we can just come here and we can do if game duration seconds is greater than 0. We can just say this like left time, right? Left time, and left time I want an integer version of this because I'm going to use it on the with the hood messenger. So I'll basically do game duration countdown hood messenger dot set text for UI, and then I'll do left time int. Okay. So you can set your hood messenger like this, can be like any custom hood it could be using any custom like blueprint or UI blueprint or something like that. But as long as it just takes in as long as you just put the input somewhere appropriate so that it is shown as a timer, it will work. So I just show it and hide it. And game end. So I'll just do it like this. All right. And then we come to, so here we have the game start trigger. So this is called by you, or maybe you can bind this to a button or something. This basically, when this is triggered, this starts the game if the game is not active at the moment. And on game and triggered, so this is triggered by the device, by the Spiky spinner device, and you basically listen to this trigger to know when the game has ended. On game winner player trigger here is also called, and at the end of the game it is called by each winner player, so that we can award like scores or something to that player. game and wait seconds. This is just some little amount of time that we might want. Maybe if you want to have a little bit of wait time at the game end before teleporting the players back to the lobby. But if you don't want to, you can just basically set it to 0.0. Then we define the Spiky spinner props. We have a bottom prop and a top prop because we want to rotate them in different directions. So we have like two props, and actually you would be able to access them through our Patreon. Now I'll show you how to use them. Here we set the radius of the Spiky spinners. So because we are doing a custom damage check, so we are in our custom async function, we are checking if we can damage the player if they are in the radius. So you can also set some additional radius to damage the player. Here you set the speed of the spinner, so movement speed, and here it is the rotation speed of it. So these are the chase durations, minimum and maximum chase durations. So spinner will try to chase a player until it eliminates that player, or the chase duration ends. So this basically, so it will generate a random chase duration between these numbers, and it will try to chase that player for that duration. And then this is also, you can set this to 0 as well. You can set this to something else. This is basically a wait seconds between spinner changes target, but you can you know, maybe it's highly probable that you might prefer this to stay at 0. Okay, so we have the game area center prop. So what we did here is we are assuming a like a circle, a circular game area. So this prop is supposed to be at the center of the game area, so that the code knows where to, because we are starting the spinner at the center of the game area, so that this prop is important for the code to know where is the center of the game. And this is the game area radius prop. So what you do is that you put this prop at the edge of the game area. So by looking through distance of the center prop and the radius prop, the verse code, the device knows the radius of the area. All right, so we keep the locations, we keep per player state, and we keep the spinner state. All right, here we bind the events. So we do initial state recording. We hide those props because we don't actually want. We only use these props for their location, so we don't actually want to see them or interact with them. So this is the game start trigger. We first look if we can start the game. So I almost forgot. So this is the one player test mode. So if you set this to false, this will assume that this will work. The device will work as it will require a minimum of 2 players to work, right? So, and it will end when 1 player is left alive. But if you set this to true, device will work with even only 1 player, and it will end when the game will end when all players are eliminated, or if when the duration ends, if you have a duration, right? So here we look if the game is active. Here we look if there are actually any players. Maybe, you know, that might be a case, maybe an edge case. Then we try to teleport the spinners into the game area, and if we fail, we basically don't do anything. And actually what I should do here as well is just do this, so that the state is reset properly. Okay, and here we shuffle the game area teleporters. So we teleport the players at randomized places. So here we just, this is the on-player joint. We initialize the state of the player. We listen to their eliminated events. In this left event, we are setting the player as nope, they are not in the game anymore. And as well as in eliminated, we are setting them as nope, they're not in the game anymore. All right, this is the game loop that we spawn at game start trigger, right? So we first show the countdown, and then we constantly check on the time. So this is the actual game loop that runs during the game, during the minigame. So at first we are checking for the game end condition at each second. So, and at each 100 milliseconds we are checking if the spinner is close enough to someone, so that they should so the spinner should eliminate that person. So we are doing that, and here we are looking if the spinner is waiting, we are basically starting a chase, right? We are looking for all the playing players, and we are basically getting a random player, and the spinner will start chasing the randomly selected player. So here is the game end condition. So in this one, I also have commands to help you out. So here we you call the triggers for the game ends. We stop the animation for the spinner. Maybe it's alive right now, and then we teleport the players back to the lobby, right? So this is how you can see on game interplay trigger. So this is called for each winner player, and by listening to this trigger you can give any awards to the winner players that you want. Okay. So yeah, so this is the the chase. This is basically async chase function for the spinner. So this is basically doing some spatial math. So we are not actually, this comment is outdated. So we are doing a that's not, so my bad, that's not actually, this is a decision. so we might have a long way to the player, but at each 1 second we are going a specific distance at each 1 second, so that if the player moves a bit, the spinner can correctly correct its course to keep following the player, right? So basically it sets the distance, and it sets the ratios for the speed and for the rotation, and then it calculates the correct locations for both spinner pieces, because remember that we have the bottom and the top part of the spinners as different parts, and then we calculate the rotation for them. And we are moving them with the animation controller, because this is much faster doing it than doing with move to, because probably move to requires server validation maybe, and probably animation controller does not. So moving it with animations are much faster. Actually, you can use my old code that I have written with move to, but it was really slow, because it would lag at each call to the move to, right? So I can actually delete these. So I call the animation player for both of the parts, and then this is game and check. We are either ending the game when the this is the logic and check. This is the end. This is the end condition for the chase logic. So we are ending it either when the game chase duration ends, or when somehow this player is not in the game. Maybe they left or they are eliminated. And then we are setting the spinner state back to waiting, and we are waiting the time before picking a new target. So of course this can be 0. All right, so now I'll slowly scroll up so that you can see all of that again, and I'll show you how you can set up the scene. All right, so for this one, first let me show you the assets that we have. So if I come to Spiky Spin tutorial, so for this one you want a what we did is that we have 2 pieces to the spike, to the spinner. So we have a bottom part and a top part. This is because we want to rotate the top part in a one way, like this for example, and the bottom part on the other way, right? So that's why we had to have them in 2 pieces. So if you get the asset back, you also get the access code, but you get these both of these meshes. You also get this T common, which is what you do is you just create a basic material and just connect the texture to the default color, and then your meshes will light up with the appropriate colors. So of course to reference them, they need to be to reference them by the verse device, they need to be creative props. So all you do is you go right click and create a I create a prop blueprint and then set the static mesh to these. And so I set these up, I put them in such a way that they are, they align perfectly. And once you set them up like this, then the verse code will handle the rest, and it will keep them aligned. And that's all with the assets. So let me show you the device, so you can see that I have set the teleporters. There's a couple of game area, like just 2 game area teleporters and just 1 lobby teleporter. So this is the game area. I mean, I put a bounding box here, but you can actually maybe put invisible walls as well, but a bounding box was easier for me. So you can see that if I come to here, I have game center prop, so it's here, and then I have game radius prop at the edge of the play area, basically, right? So it allows the code, the device, to calculate the radius and the entire game area. So we have here I have set the game start countdown seconds to 3 seconds, and I have the HUD messengers. Then I set the game duration seconds to 30. Remember that if you set this to 0, it means that game won't have a duration. It will only end when like all but 1 players are eliminated, right? That is the other HUD messenger. So I have the game start trigger to start the game. It's this one. So this is the on game end trigger and on game winner player trigger. So I don't do anything on game end trigger for this one, for in this test map. But with on winner trigger, what I did is I have a score manager and I binded its activate the function to the on triggered of the on winner trigger. So what will happen is this will basically, since this will on winner trigger is going to be triggered by each winner player, so this score manager is going to award a point to each winner players. All right. So I set the I set radius and additional damage radius for the spike. I also set the speed and the rotation degrees. So this is like 120 rotation is like 3 whole rotations in it's 1 whole rotation in 3 seconds, basically, right? And 384 units per second. So it's a little bit smaller than a grid. So grid size is an edge of a grid is like 512, right? And then we have like min chase duration and max chase duration from 3 to 4. So it will try to chase the target, so its current target for some duration between 3 and 4, and to wait seconds before picking a new target. So I set it to 0 because I'll just test it alone, so no need to have some wait there. And then of course I enabled the 1-player test mode with true. Of course I called this test mode, but maybe you would want to have this on your actual published mini games as well. I mean, it depends on your liking, but we give you both options. And yeah, it's actually it's not really complicated. It's actually pretty straightforward to use. And let's continue with the session, and let me show you how you play with it. Alright, now I'll come and trigger the start trigger to start the game. Now I'll try to evade the I'll try to run away from the spinner for the game duration, which is 30 seconds, because I set it to 30 seconds. And you can adjust, remember that you can adjust the the movement speed and rotation speed of the spinner as well. I just set it to a fairly small speed so that I can easily run away from it for testing purposes. So I got my score because, you know, remember that I binded a scored device to the trigger, to the winner trigger. So now I'll start it again, and then I'll just die to the spinner, and it ends immediately because I was the only player. Of course, you can see that from the logs that the game ended because of a game duration, and then it ended because of the elimination limit. Of course, I'm able to test it with one player because I set the flag from the device. Actually, that was all. To access the code or the assets of this video, you can check our Patreon. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed. And also leave a comment on what tutorial you would want to see next. See you later.